Hey, Spuddies, Potato McWhiskey here, and welcome to Memoria Polis, or as I like to call it, Memoriopolis, because it just flows off the tongue better. But it's Memoria Polis, and this is kind of a through the ages city builder. You know, it's kind of weird. You start out like you're building like a Roman city, and then time goes on and you're building sort of like a middle-aged city, and then you go towards like industrial. It's very cool. It's very weird. This is sponsored. There'll be links in the description, all that sort of stuff. Thank you so much to the developer for sponsoring this video. And this is one of the few sponsorships where I kind of said, yeah, you know what, I'll do it before I actually played the game. Because I looked at the Steam page and I was like, you know what, this looks kind of neat, looks kind of interesting. And you know, I could always back out of it if I didn't like the game. Because usually what I do is I will accept, I will say, hey, I'd be happy to try out your game, and if I like the game, I'll do the sponsorship. But it turns out like I did things the other way around, and when I played it, I quite liked it. There's a sort of something going on here. One recommendation I do have, by the way, is when you play this game, I was having like graphical issues if I had this object display distance. Whatever this is a resource hog. So if you play this game, set this to very low or low. I was having a scooch of performance issues before I did that, and you know, but the game is pretty. It's beautiful. There's something about it, and I don't know exactly how to explain it, so I'm just going to show you. Okay, so let's jump in. We're going to play classic mode on the classic map. I'm still not, you know, the game is. I think is it launching to early access? I should have read the brief, dude. You know, I'm not a product seller. I play video games, and sometimes people pay me money to do it. And this game is really interesting. Listen, all I know is they want you to click on the link in the description. They want you to go check out the game, and I think you should check out the game because I think it's very cool. So, we could choose our destiny here. We could be a craftsman, which will make natural resources more abundant. I quite like this one because it means you don't have to replace your production buildings as often. The trader gives you extra trade route stuff. Strategists lowers the chance of incidents. The politician increases decrees. I forgot about decrees in my last playthrough, actually. Cultural buildings give more satisfaction. I do quite like the idea of craftsman or philosopher. Priest makes offerings of random resources. I think my personal vibe here is I like the craftsman for those natural resources, or I like the philosopher so that we get lots of satisfaction from our cultural buildings. But I'm going to go for the craftsman. It feels like the good default. We'll build ourselves a little flag here. What are we? Ooh, I like the tombstone. That's kind of neat. And you can... Where's my harp? Oh, yes, they have a harp. Oh, baby. You want the golden harp? It's my coat of arms, baby. Can I make it like a little bit, like slightly lower? And then can we make it like a little smaller? There we go. Oh, that's fun. Can I get rid of like the scuffedness? I want mine to be pristine. Oh, I like that. Oh, what if I change the outline color to... Oh, that actually looks sick. Anyway, I will call this Potatopolis because that's Potato Polis. That's what we always call it. My name will be Potato McWhiskey. My first and last name. Although usually there's not actually a space between them. It's just a whole name. It's one... There's no space bar. I got sent a t-shirt once. I think it was from Firaxis for the Civ Fight Night. And they put a space between the potato and the McWhiskey, and I was like, hey, it's not a real name. It's an alias. You don't put a space there. It was all in good fun though. So I think, you know, the game recommends like, oh, you could settle your city over here by the riverside, like the Villa McWhiskey, or you could go to the roadside and settle your villa over here, or the marshy plot. And you know, I'm just gonna go with the riverside. Riverside, mother trucker. We'll just go here. It's pretty standard. It's a nice spot. And I think if we go on this plot, right, we're near a forest over here. We're near a forest over here. We got some rocks and some sand. You know, we got all the resources we need within reasonable range. So I'm just going to go, bloop, I'll give it a little kinky angle right there. Boom. Veneretis Bene. Hello, Benet. Yada, yada, yada. My objective is to reach level 5 in each family heritage. Now, what is level 5 in each family heritage? I don't actually really know. But basically, the game is broken up into many ages. There are many ages. So I'm going to pause the game right away because we have only 1,200 cycles in the Antiquity Age. And once the Antiquity Age is over, I don't know, there's a button somewhere. Yeah. Then we'll go to the Middle Age, then we'll go to the Renaissance, and then we'll go to the Enlightenment and the Industrial Revolution. So every 300 cycles, we will get evaluated, and we want to hit these milestones here. So if we want to get an intermediary evaluation, we need to get 3,500 resource points. What are resource points? I have absolutely no idea. I think it's just how much resources you have in supply. Population satisfaction, if we have 260 population satisfied, we will get an intermediate evaluation. There is a higher tier of evaluation. So basically, you're trying to hit these milestones, and I don't know what you get for doing that, but something. You probably get something. I think you get these memory points, these things here, and memory points can be used to basically undo problems that have accumulated over the ages, roughly speaking. We've got a technology tree. We'll talk a little bit more about the technology tree. My 100% most important recommendation is whatever you do not upgrade the surveyor's cabin at the start of it. Do not upgrade it to tier 2 at the start of the game, okay? Just do not do it. You will brick your start. I did that one time, and yeah, I bricked my start. So, things to note. Apparently, people need to eat food, so farms are going to be important. We also need wood, and we need quarries. So, we're going to start out with wood. You get a little cutting camp over here. You can see, if I put it over here, there's only 360 wood. If I put it over here, there's 4,000 wood. So, this wood will do us for probably most of the age. About 4,000 wood is enough for most of the age. So, we can park this little woodcutter camp here. That's a good start. And then we're also going to want a quarry to get stone. Wood and stone, your basic resources for starting the construction of a town. You're also going to want food. You can kind of get away with not building food for like a minute. And I'm going to use the surveyor's cabin to kind of put the farm a little bit further out over here, because farms take up a lot of room. And I don't like them when they're really close to my town. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a little surveyor's cabin. This little circle here, that's the buildable area of my city. And so if I just scooch you, I'm trying to optimize the amount of space my town gets. So if I put a little surveyor's cabin here, I'll be able to put a farm kind of further away so that I can centralize all of my actual, like, the good buildings. Well, it'll make more sense in a moment. Basically, now that I've unpaused the game, a tick happens. And every time a tick happens, right, like this building's going to take 9 ticks to build, or 9 cycles, I guess. And every time a cycle happens, a building will do a thing. So, like, you can see this district has popped up because this Villa McWhiskey has an attraction filter. You can see this little blue blob around it, right? This is where people want to live. And the more intense the attraction filter, the more people want to live in that place. So you can see there's now 3 people living in here. And we get you start off with a baseline of workforce, and you get a percentage of your population as workforce. And workforce is probably the biggest limitation you're going to be running into when you're playing the game. And what I love about this game is you could play it as just max speed, whatever, go cycle, don't care. Or you could play it like, okay, I'm going to do cycles very slowly and very carefully. You can play it like a little bit of a puzzle game where you're like trying to optimize every single possible move. So I'm going to place a farm over here in between the trees. Now I do actually want to quickly check the resource map mode. So there's wood, there's stone, there's sand, there's clay, there's gold, and there's iron. So if I put the farms here, I won't be getting in the way of any resources that I might want to build later. That will make sense later because moving a farm is expensive, because it is... I made that mistake last time. I put farms right beside over here, and then I didn't have room for like the special cultural building. So just... that's a recommendation I have, is put your farms a little bit further out. This is a good spot for a farm. All right, 6. So the small quarry and the cutting camp are both finished. The cutting camp is going to produce 3 wood per cycle, depleting the local resources nearby. And the small quarry is going to create 3 stone per cycle, but it can get clay or sand as well. Perfect. And so mostly what we're waiting on now is the accumulation of resources to... and population. And we get between 1 and 4 population per cycle. And then we can improve our villa to level 2. And then that will unlock a whole bunch of new things for us to play around with. And you can see the little... one thing I love about this game is the shape of the districts are very organic. That is something I really like about the game. I do think it's worth it to get a second cutting camp early, as it is probably worth it to get a second stone cutter as well. But I'll start with a second cutting camp. You want to be careful about using up all your workers though, because that is one of your hardest to acquire resources. We will need to think about when we're going to get a second farm, but it's fine for now. We don't have to worry about that at the moment. That's probably a longer term consideration. Time's passing. Just waiting to get to 90 population so I can upgrade my villa. You can see like little carts running around. People are trading. Yeah, it's like a little hamlet, right? We're getting started. You can see people are building houses, and every tick when people move in, the houses evolve and new houses will appear. Just take a snap. I want you to take a snapshot of this town in your mind, okay? Remember what this looked like at this phase of the game, because it's going to slowly evolve. over the course of this playthrough. It is a beautiful sort of evolution that we will undertake. And there we go. We have hit 90 population. However, we're lacking a little bit on the resource side of things. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab myself a second small quarry right there. There you go. Try to minimize the overlap between quarries to maximize the total resource production. And there we go. 2 quarries, 2 foresters. That's a good start. We will eventually probably want 3 quarries and 3 foresters when we start processing it into higher tier materials, because of course there's higher tier materials. It is that sort of a game. All right, we have the wood. We're just waiting on the stone, another cycle or 2. And boom, Villa McWhiskey can be improved. Several cycles have passed, and now you have enough citizens and resources to improve your family heritage. So, if I quickly come in here and I pause the game and I improve this, we will go to level 2 on the Villa McWhiskey. It'll take 10 cycles to improve, but the building will have a higher attraction, if I recall correctly, and be able to hold more resource stock, which is always nice. And there we go. We have unlocked family heritage too. And there are 5 family heritages that we're going to want to work our way through, I believe, in this age. So we have access to the ceramic workshop, the arena. These are all cultural buildings. They improve various aspects of your cities, your satisfactions, right? So each color is associated with a faction. You've got creative, military, religion, scholar, commerce, politics. Those are the factions. Factions will provide you with gold coins. They'll provide you with quests and remissions and decisions and kind of like, not exactly narrative events, but like they'll provide you with like conundrums that you have to solve, like, oh, do I expand the power of this political faction at the expense of another one, or so on and so forth. Your citizens also have satisfactions. Health, if your health is low, people will eat more food. If your health is high, they'll eat less. If your safety is low, a lot of really negative events like fires or riots will break out. If safety is high, they won't happen. That's the shield. Then belonging is your general productivity of your society. If your belonging is low, your resource buildings won't be as productive. If your self-esteem is high, you will get more tax. And if creativity is low or high, buildings will take longer or lower, or longer or shorter to build. Basically, here, actually, I can just hover over them and show you, right? Pause game. Health. High health, minus 20% food consumption. That's really good. Safety. High safety. 0 incidents will happen in your town. I like to focus on safety because of that, because I don't like these things. Belonging increases the production of natural and processed resources by 20%. That's awesome. Esteem, extra taxation. Creativity, construction time. I think creativity is the least important to me personally. Safety is the most important to me. And then it's probably belonging and esteem are kind of like similarly important, maybe slightly leaning on esteem. And then health is also quite good, at least to keep it neutral. And it's quite hard to satisfy all of these things all of the time. So you are going to want to kind of think about which one is important to you. And I personally, I find safety quite important. I can imagine there's someone out there who would ignore it. One of the first things we're going to unlock right now is the architectural office. So this is how we get blueprints, and blueprints are used to unlock things in the building tree. So let's go ahead and grab this. We could, in theory, upgrade it, but it requires higher tier resources. I happen to know that. And then we can also unlock cultural buildings, and this will allow us to start to build our factions. And I'm probably going to get started with the arena, just so we can kind of talk our way through that. Now, the architectural office has an attraction to it. It doesn't say it here, but it does actually have attraction. I wish that was something that was listed on a building as to whether or not it has attraction, but this building does in fact have attraction. I think these ones have negative attraction. You can see here. I don't know how to show you the attraction. Yeah, building has an attraction of 200. And I believe the architectural office has a very small amount of attraction. So I'm going to put it over here, like on this sort of road corner, because I want to save the area immediately adjacent to the villa for faction buildings like the arena. And we're waiting for resources plus workers. So a lot of the game is about like, making a decision in the short term, waiting for the consequences of that decision to play out in the long term. And we have found a ruin. Now what's awesome here is I can demolish this because I have no factions and get a huge amount of gold. Whereas like normally the factions would prefer if you rebuilt it. So we're going to demolish this because we don't have factions right now. So this is going to be a nice injection of a whole bunch of resources that I wouldn't normally be able to get access to this early. But I do have to wait for the 10 workers. All right, let's go ahead and demolish. Boom. It'll take 5 cycles and we'll get a nice injection of resources. In fact, actually, I think we got the resources already. Beautiful. Now, do we get the workers back? That's the question. Oh, you do. That's perfect. Okay, so that injection of resources, we're just waiting for the workers now to build the arena. And once we can build that arena, we're able to talk a little bit about the factional system. And you can see as the number of population in my town is reaching a higher level, the amount of satisfaction that I am producing is becoming inadequate. I forget how to open up the thing. Where is the Sonatas? Okay, I need to get the Sonatas. This is an important early game building because it gives you access to the politics screen. Increase the production of the architectural office for 100 cycles. Basically, you get these cultural characters that you can assign for 100 cycles at a time. So we'll get a lot more blueprints in the short term. Ah, yes, arena time. Okay, so when you place an arena, a building like an arena, you can see, if I press 5, attrition zone. Oh, you've got an attraction. If I press 5 here, you can see this is the, you've got the sort of white is the white circles are the buildable area, and the blue stuff is the attractivity. But then you can also see, as I get close to some of these districts, these kind of like red dot slots open up. And basically what that is each building of a cultural variety has an associated faction or political faction that they will take over these districts. They will move in and become a part of the city life. So if I settle right here, the hoplites are likely to move into these adjacent buildings. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop this arena really close to the villa right there. It's going to cost me 150 wood, 112 stone, 17 workers, and 12 cycles. We'll go ahead and build that. And now we have to pick a secondary bonus for this thing. I think a good secondary bonus is either belonging or esteem. I like both. I'll go for belonging right now because I don't have any factions to get me gold. So belonging it is. And this will bring up our safety. And now keep in mind, remember what this town looked like. It's going to slowly evolve over time. Now the Sonatas here requires a political faction with at least 8 power. Now the political faction is built by building the forum. So I'm going to go ahead and get myself a forum. We can't quite build a forum just yet, but we will be able to soon. We also do now have the ability to produce sand and clay. So I'm going to put a surveyor's cabin over here because I happen to know, because I just played this map a moment ago, that there's a little bit of sand over here and a little bit of clay, but also stone. There's a bunch of resources over here, basically. And so if I put a little surveyor cabin right on the periphery, we'll be able to get some new resources. Some of these buildings will take sand and clay. And now you can see, there we go. Safety is maxed out. We've got maxed out belonging. Resource production is high. And a faction wants to move into the city. Hello there. These are the hoplites. The hoplites driven by Andre's ambitions. I can accept this faction and they will offer regular taxation and a cultural military character. The cultural military character can be used for a variety of tasks. One of which is, for example, I can reduce the workers that are required in this arena. So if I go ahead and pump a worker in here, boom, now it will only need 12 workers rather than 17, freeing up workers for me to build a forum, for example, which requires a decent amount of stone that we're saving up for. But now this district, the installed faction creates a district culture. So if I go to the map mode here and I go to the faction filter, you can see this faction has full control over this district and a little bit of control over these ones. There's a little bit of influence, which is pretty cool. And now I also have a faction screen. I can go ahead and check these guys out. I can be like, trust. So what is trust? The higher the trust of factions, the more advantages you'll enjoy while interacting with certain aspects of the game. Easy to pass decrees, cheaper to buy good, blah, 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 blah. Now, I can tax these guys to gain gold. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn their taxation off so that I can get trust with them. I want their trust to be really, really high. Now, if I build these guys let's see, the power of a faction fluctuates with time and past actions. When a faction population increases, it powers it access to new levels of positive or negative effects. Okay, cool. So I don't know what exclude this faction means. Oh, I just pressed that button. What does that do? Well, hopefully I didn't just break the game by excluding that faction. Whoops. We can also build a statue of the founders. We are going to need some clay. So let's build a small quarry on the clay deposit. There's a clay deposit over here with about 4,000 in it, if I recall. Right here. There's also some sand and stone, which means this thing will be around for a long time. But we want the clay right now, as we have no clay production. We don't have any sand production either, but we have some sand in stock, so we're not in a rush for that. The big thing we want is this farm, though. So this farm can produce 58 food per cycle. It might be good for me to research improved farms. It'll cost a little bit of clay, but that means I'll be able to run my town off of a single farm for a lot longer. A new little district has appeared up over here beside the architectural office. We can improve this as well, but we're going to need wooden beams and cut stones, which I believe are unlocked with the next tier of the Villa McWhiskey, and that's going to require clay as well as 300 population. So we just need to get our population up and we can build a forum. We want to try and hit as many of these existing districts as possible right there. Come on, don't keep me. It's there's a little bit of a pixel placement game you got to play sometimes Trying to get things in the exact right location. Here we go. So that's going to hit 4 districts, all with decent population. So we're going to build our forum right here. It's going to be expensive, but it will give us access to better esteem satisfaction. And we can add an extra bit of safety. What's our safety overhead? We actually have a bit of safety overhead, so perhaps we'll go for belonging, or maybe we'll get a little bit of health because we don't want to be eating extra food. So I'll take a little bit of extra health on that forum. Improving the cutting camp will take some clay. And I believe improving the quarry will take some sand. So we'll probably want to get a sand quarry out here eventually. I'll probably put a surveyor's cabin on this beach if I recall correctly. There is sand here. Yeah, there's a ton of sand over here on this beach, so great place for us to add resource production. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I can attract a faction using cultural characters, but I've kind of already spent mine. All right, let's have a look in here. What can we unlock? Let's see. Yeah, I'll save up some workers to upgrade this farm. I think that'll be good to give us that nice little bit of overhead. I don't think we're really hungry, but it's a good idea to have a good amount of farm overhead. You do not want to starve. So we'll get this farm constructed nice and quick. Safety and taxation are high. Yes, we can improve the Villa McWhiskey. Awesome. So we're going to improve this again to the next tier. This will give us access to wooden beams as well as cut stones and the area. The area is basically like it's a way to increase the attraction of a region. All right, Villa McWhiskey up. You can see the trust with these guys is slowly climbing. I'm very happy about that. Let's unlock a new cultural building. Oh, you can't unlock buildings while your villa is upgrading. Well, we have a level 3, so it's only 160 cycles in, and we're at 3 out of 5 levels. Now, the first couple are kind of easy to get, but the ones after that get a little bit more tough. Yeah, we're going to need gold and cut stones and ceramics. So now we can build stone masonry, which will allow us to convert stone into cut stones, carpentry, which will allow us to convert wood into wooden beams, and we can also build the area. And basically the area is just a way to boost the attractiveness of a local location. So like, let's say I'm like, ooh, I want to make sure that more people move into this neighborhood. I'm going to put this little thing here to, make more people move in here, so it's a more attractive location. So let's unlock the stone mason, the carpenter, and then we'll be able to get the better architectural office, and we'll probably want to start upgrading our stone quarries and our cutting camps and all this sort of stuff. We're about 60% of the way to our esplanade. Resource point wise, we're looking good. Population satisfaction wise, we're looking good. Faction power, we're not, we're on par with what we need. Let's go ahead and unlock the ceramic workshop. I think we could do some fun things with that. We need to look around. These populations over here are not serviced. I'm gonna try and hit all 3 if I can. Come on. Sometimes you gotta play, I wish it was a little bit more forgiving. You gotta play Pixel Hunter sometimes to find the exact right spot to where you can hit all your existing districts. But we'll build a little ceramic shop right here. And I will focus on safety because I really don't like these negative events. But I think most of my regions are now being hit by potential factions. So we've got no risk of incidents. We've got a carnival. The citizens are celebrating. Well, that's cool. I can't attract a character here for some reason. How do I attract a faction? That is the one thing that I haven't quite figured out. Let me open up the codex here. All right, let me have a look. Can I boost your power? Ah, well, you have given me access to the Presidium. Excellent. Their trust is very high, so I want to keep the hoplites really, really happy. We could get the Presidium, which will give us a huge amount of satisfaction and attraction. I think I would like to keep the forum open as an option here. You know what, let's unlock the Presidium. When it comes to proximity, I will put a little surveyor outpost out here by the water. And that is so that I can build a quarry down here and start harvesting out the sand. Yes, okay, we got the plebeians. Welcome, plebeians. This is who I was looking for. So the plebeians of Rome are here. Wow, these guys are celebrating. They're really happy. That's awesome. I'm really glad for them. See if we can't find the right spot for this quarry. Oh, I do need to wait until this building finishes. There we go. Small quarry. About 15,000 sand here, which is pretty much enough to do us for like 2 or 3 ages. We'll build that. You can see, look at these districts. They're starting to evolve. We can look at the faction map. Oh, factions are moving in. They're taking over. Destabilizing a faction lowers its power. That's interesting. I'm going to lower the tax of the plebeians. Again, we don't need the money right now, and I would rather have the high trust. Oh, wow, there's even more celebrating going on. Jesus. Yes, I can attract a faction. I'm going to attract a faction over here. Which district has the most population? Looks like it's this one, 58. We're going to attract the Heliotes. Perfect. We've got another faction. We're going to go ahead and tell these guys that we will not tax you either. We want to have, I like having high trust with my factions. It's like I'm lowering taxation right now to get people to move into my city, but eventually, you know, those chickens will come home to roost. I definitely need to increase the security of my town, so I would like to get a Presidium. We'll save up for that. It's going to take a little bit of wood, a little bit of sand. We have the workforce for it. Well, it's going to take a lot of wood, actually. Okay, perfect. We can get a Presidium. I'm going to park it up over here to lock in this as the militaristic faction right there. It's quite expensive, but it will give us a lot of satisfaction and a lot of attractions. We'll start to attract a decent amount of population over to this side of the town. They're bringing up the power of the hoplites. I'm going to put a surveyor cabin out over here, because I would like to get another woodcutter in this zone. We're struggling a little bit for wood compared to stone. So I would feel good if we were getting a little bit more of that. All right, let's get that cutting camp. There we go. Another 4,000 wood. Boosh. And the Presidium is about to finish too. The hoplites have hit 8 power, which means we should be able to unlock their next building, their service building, the Minimentum, which will give us access to even more security, but also some other special abilities that we'll talk about. So I'll go ahead and buy that unlock. Now, what does it take to upgrade these quarries? It takes a lot of wood and a bit of sand. Hello! The hoplites would like to expand their territory. This will get them +3 power, +10 trust, and it'll increase their tax. I'm going to accept their expansion. So now they own 2 districts, essentially, which gives them a significant boost in the population that they control, meaning they have more power. Actually, did that boost them up to a new power level, actually? Oh, yes. Now we can get the Statio. However, that is going to require ceramics, which we do not have just yet. I believe those are unlocked with the next level of my villa. That's going to require 900 population. I'm curious, how am I doing with the assessments? We have passed the minimum level for all of our assessments, which is good. All right, let's improve our quarries. I think we need to get our resource buildings to level 2 so that we can extract resources from the land faster. It will delay building some of these buildings. However, it will speed up building future buildings. So I think that makes it worth it. This is already level 2. I do wish there was like a filter I could use to see which buildings are level 2. We found a ruin. Now, deleting this would hurt our trust, but it would get us some useful materials. And here's the thing. I kind of like to run a taxation, ban, and then just, I mean, this trust will recover in like 50 cycles, but I'll wait until our assessment before I do that in case that causes like a negative event that hurts our assessment. Boosh. The Syndicate Alliance, you receive Esplanda coins. Intermediary evaluation. Very nice. So we succeeded in getting the base level evaluation. I don't know what this one is. I think these are negatives. The city has met expectations. We're a little bit behind on building points, but that's okay. We're still ahead of where we need to be. So now I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to delete this ruin for the resources. It'll hurt the trust, but we're not taxing anyone. So the trust is building up anyway. So all of our resource production buildings are level 2 now, which means I am going to come in here. I'm going to unlock the level 2 of the surveyor's camp. Well, hold on. Let me look up. I will not do that until I have a carpenter and a stonemason. My carpenter and my stonemason, I think over here actually by the beach is like not a terrible place for these. It already should have some negative appeal, so we'll do a carpenter right here plus the stonemason right here. This will get us the basic tier 2 resource production going. We'll want the monumentum. You're 108 food per cycle. That's perfect. Now that we're building these, it can be worth it for us to build another set of, what's the word? Of basic resource production. Because we might want to get that a little bit more wood. So I'm wondering, like, what if I built a cutting camp over here to make sure that we're getting enough wood in our diet? All right, there we go. And then like 16,000, it's like 15,000 stone right here. Beautiful. Because now we're processing these resources into higher tier resources. We're going to need more of them. So I like to just pump up the production there. Let's make sure we unlock the Statio. That's going to require ceramics. So we won't be able to get that until the next tier, which is fine. I'm going to unlock the next tier of the political buildings. And I'm going to improve this small quarry to level 2 so we can get more clay. I can build a statue to the founder of the city, which sounds kind of fun. I'll pop it right over here by the forum. It has a little bit of attraction. It doesn't really do a huge amount, but people like living near it, which is cool. I gotta say, the game is really, really fun, and it's really quite satisfying to play. So I want to save up now for the monumentum. It's mostly just workers we need to save up for, so we're just waiting for this citizen thing to fill up. Okay, perfect. We have the population now to make the monumentum. I'll put it over here. Can I squeeze it in? I'm trying to get it to squeeze. Oh, right there. There we go. Can we just nestle it nice and close? It's going to cost us 300 wood, 300 stone, 168 sand, 25 workers. And this is a building you can only build once. Probably the most important things to me are belonging and esteem. My creativity is low, but like construction speed doesn't bother me that much. I do think health is important, but the safety is the one I like to really focus on, because preventing all incidents from happening just always feels amazing. And now that we've built the monumentum, we get access to ramparts, and the ramparts are really cool. If I select this villa, I can enlarge the ramparts, and this basically builds wall around the surrounding buildings that will increase the internal attraction of this area, and it'll decrease the need for health and safety for the inhabitants. So I'll get 450. Now I can enlarge it to encompass like basically the whole city, but that would cost me an absurd amount of resources and an absurd amount of population. So I think the trick is to start small. We will get to work on these ramparts. I don't think it's a goal right now. I think what we want to start working on now is maybe building up the political power of the plebeians of Rome. So we want to build like the Helea, the Senatus, in particular the Senatus, because that's going to give us access to decrees. So I'm going to go ahead and pop into the tech tree, and I'm going to unlock the Senatus. We have already unlocked the Helea, so we'll probably quickly squeak out the Helea before we get the Senatus. Again, we're mostly waiting for population here, so we've reached a stage where our city is in really good shape, and I just love how organically the cities develop in this game. It's quite satisfying. I mean, look how dense and urban these zones in here have started to become. I think it's really cool. Ooh, the plebeians, I think they want to expand. There we go. Plus 10 trust, power, yes. Expand your reach, please. Okay, so here's the Senatus, right here, right by this statue of the founder. Boom. It can only be built once per game. It has an attraction of 350. It costs a little bit of resources, you know, sort of broad spectrum of resources. Again, the most difficult thing we're having right now is a worker shortage. We've got plenty of security, but we can always have more safety. This is going to give us a significant amount of esteem. We are struggling a little bit with creativity, and it's not ideal to have crap creativity. So maybe we'll go for creativity and belonging to keep these guys above a certain level. Let's see, 25 workers, 17, 22. I'm going to reduce the worker cost of this. I'm going to reduce the worker cost of the ceramic workshop as well, so we can free up some workers. I'll increase the production of the architectural office. We would like to upgrade this. It'll take a significant amount of workers. And we could attract a faction if we got a new building. And I think that might not be a terrible thing to do if we were to attract maybe the religious faction next, or the trade faction. So we'll wait until we have the blueprints for that. Oh, these guys want to expand as well. Yes, do expand. Okay, so I'm going to unlock the Via Edificium, which is will give me access to the commercial faction. So I will build this over here by these. Oh, I can't quite get it in. Oh, maybe I can get it to, I can almost touch all these empty places. And I suppose keep our safety nice and high. But yeah, there's a little district in here I'll never be able to reach. It only has 6 people in it, which is fine. But hopefully we'll be able to attract the commercial faction to this zone in here, this nice district, with our little political point. Oh, they came in anyway. Perfect. Well, that just means my next blueprint can be spent attracting another faction. So, politics. The hoplites and the plebeians of Rome. So we have quite a few things that we can enact now. And now we're going to want maybe to start taxing people. So we can do stuff like closing the gates, which stops migration to the city. Or we could do external recruitments, which increases the migration to the city. That would be awesome. Public courses increases the creativity satisfaction. You know, import regulations. You've got quality control, decreases the sends. Axe sharpening increases resource generation, all this sort of stuff. I don't necessarily know. I don't necessarily have an opinion on which of these things are good to pass, and they cost gold, which is a resource I like to hold close to my heart. But it's useful to have it unlocked because they will start to be like, oh, I wish to pass a decree. And if you just let them do that, they might improve your city. I feel like the immigration decree is a good one. Okay, sick. We have the resources now to get the Agage Center. We will grab that, and I will put this over here. I could nestle this in right there. These are going to be a weak faction, relatively speaking, to my others. But they will be here, and they will provide us with some benefits. So how are we doing on this? Okay, we're well ahead on resource points, populate. So, yeah, perfect. We're well ahead of where we need to be with the city. So, looking good, man. Now, don't forget, right? This game is available on Steam, right? This video is sponsored, so I feel like, and it's so fun. I feel like I need to provide a little bit of value to the people who paid me to do this, paid me to play the game. But sick, yes. So, I'm going to wait like a moment, and then I try to attract the faction to this one because it has 32 population. The Druids of the Isle of Man. Yes, please come to my city. Renowned for their mystical wisdom. Boom. And so now they own this tile. They'll have a little bit of population. The hoplites have full trust with me, so I'm going to start taxing them. It's 2.6 gold every 5 cycles. So to make sure we're not taxing anyone else so that we can get the trust up to really high. The next thing I would like to do is to improve the architectural office. That's going to require a significant amount of workers. And in addition to that, I would really like to upgrade my villa. So it's probably going to be the next thing that I do is upgrading the villa, waiting for the cut stone cycle to finish. Takes a few cycles. There we go. Ready to improve. Let's go. Now, improving this is going to unlock brickworks, which allows us to turn clay into bricks. It's going to unlock tilery, which allows us to turn sand into tiles. The platea, don't know what it does, as well as new resources. Let's go. Let's upgrade. That did cost us a little bit of money. Request from a faction. We'd like them to extend the influence of the culture. So they want me to promote a decree curfew. So if I come in here and I go to curfew, I could now do, so normally this would cost 5 gold per cycle, but I could do a full 100 cycle curfew for 250 coins. I'm going to do the minimum to just be like, yeah, you get your decree, just satisfy their request. I will propose it, and in 3 cycles, they'll decide to, the decree was accepted. Right, so we spent a little bit of gold to get a cheap decree. It'll make safety feel good. All right, awesome. We now have access to production buildings, the brickwork, the tilery, and the platea. Now, the decorative building, perhaps I have to unlock that? Yeah, we got a few things that we would like to unlock, like the Horaeum. We're also going to want to unlock the brickwork. We need to upgrade these buildings too. The stonemason and the carpenter. I'm going to focus on upgrading my buildings. I could use a cultural character to unlock this. Wait a minute. That feels powerful. Cultural character, thank you for that. We will also buy this. And then we'll save our blueprints. You need to be upgraded. We're waiting for bricks. Can we upgrade the brickery? Not yet. Not yet. We do have the resources, actually, to maybe build some ramparts. We're a little bit shy on the stone. Well, when you're shy on stone, maybe build a stonemason. All right, let's upgrade our ramparts. It's a significant upgrade to the city. It takes a bit of population, a bit of time. Take 32 cycles, but I think it's worth it. Makes all this population in here just better. The threat of Macedonia. Okay, so I can lose gold. Ugh. Or food. Let's help the Greek cities. 20 food isn't that much. We don't eat that much just yet, so we can eat that food pretty easily. Take that as a hit. All right, let's unlock the brickwork and the tilery, just so we have access to the next tier of resources. To improve the capital, we'll need 1,800 population. So we'll need to start thinking about these things as we get further along. I'm really looking forward to these ramparts being completed. It'll help a lot with the health and the safety of the town. There we go. Nice. Now you can always enlarge them again. It gets increasingly expensive as you put more stuff in the ramparts. So like the next one's going to cost us 1,500, which is a lot. To encompass the entire city would cost 4,800. So it'll be quite some time before we can afford that. I'm quite annoyed that unlocking this takes so dang long when I would have just unlocked it myself. All right, we'll improve our carpenter. We'll have a look. I could use another stonemason. I could also use the upgrade to the surveyor cabin. Let me have a look. There is the ability to build a bit of stonemasonry over here, so pop you right there. And I'll grab a stonemason, because I'm a little bit light on stonemasonry at the moment. Actually, there's about 10,000 stone right here. I'll wait for this anyway. I can get a lot more if I wait. Okay, perfect. We'll put a little stonemason here. There's like 14,000. We could use the Hallelujah. 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 Ooh, could I scooch it right in here? Come on. Rotate me. I'll put it up over here. I do not want to promote the closing the gates. I would prefer to do an immigration one. It'd be nice to reduce the workers. Having reduced workers is great. And I would also like to increase the productivity of the architectural office. I would also like to improve it, so I will. Then the ceramic workshop will also reduce will increase the satisfaction. Make our people a little bit happier. Why not? All right, we're coming up on our next assessment, and we're way ahead on the faction power points, which is good. So we want to maybe focus on building. So if we're using a small quarry, we'll produce 5 sand per cycle. The tilery uses 21 sand every 6 cycles. So if I'm producing 5 sand per cycle, that's 30 sand every 6 cycles. So I think I would need a second small quarry so that I didn't run out of sand. But I can sustain this tilery for quite a while without doing much extra. I'm kind of building like a gross production area over here. And if I'm getting the tilery, I may as well get the brickwork because the same math applies. Okay, what is this? The threat of Macedonia 2, your defense was a success. We got the Ludus Magnus. Ooh, I don't know what the hell the Ludus Magnus is, but I'm gonna go look. Ludus Magnus. Oh damn, it's the final tier building in the scientific cultural tree. Oh, that's really good. That's really good. Well, all right then. Let's upgrade our... Oh, I can't get the proximity building upgrades yet. Now I can get it. We'll upgrade this to tier 2. Now, these surveyor cabins are going to be a little bit more expensive now. Mostly in the form of cut stones. I'm still waiting to upgrade the stonemason. So now we're starting to produce tiles. We're starting to produce bricks. Really good stuff. Peek at our factions. So we're taxing you guys. The plebeians are at 96 trust. We want to wait until they're a little higher. Oh, the Heliotes are actually at max trust, so we'll start taxing them. That's good news. Oh my god, I could build this Ludus. The Ludus Magnus. I kind of want there to be a little bit more attraction around this area. I do have to wait until that sawmill is finished doing sawmilly things. You know what? We do a little mixed district over here. If I put you here, what's our safety at? We have a surplus of safety. So let's put this towards esteem so we have lots of cash. Feels like the right play. Can I squeeze an area in here? Oh, they just built. Never mind. I cannot. We may want to start thinking about getting our second farm. We're getting towards that point in the game where our food consumption is starting to match what this can output. We still have a little bit of headroom, but we're kind of running out of headroom. Oh, next assessment. Bish bash bosh. 4 stars. 4 gold stars. Love it. Okay, sick. It's going to cost us a decent amount of a variety of resources to get to the next tier. The big thing is the population requirement. Let's have a look at what we could upgrade. So we could go to tier 3. Tier 3 would require... Oh my goodness. Okay, so we definitely don't want to go to that. What can we do? We could unlock the Macellum, which I believe will allow us to do trade routes. So I would like to build this. Again, we're kind of waiting on the population. So can I make this forum reduce the amount of workers required or satisfaction? No, reduce workers. I like that worker reduction because that'll let me build the Macellum sooner than I would normally be able to. Yeah, finding room. It's a little tough. Oh, I can squeeze it in right here. There we go. Boom. So this gives a huge health buff. I think safety and esteem are important, but I do need to get a little bit of belonging because I'm taking a resource penalty right now. And I want to keep my creativity above a minimum level, so I'll also take a creativity buff. They want me to promote a curfew. It's not really what I'm looking to do. It's not my vibe. Oh yes, expand your district, give me more tax. And now we can start taxing the politicians. Yes, let the gold flow. Health is looking great. We're eating less food. Everything's looking great here in this town. We're actually at our resource cap for some things. We may want to expand the town's walls a little bit. So I'm going to look for wherever the densest populations are. And we don't quite have the workforce for this, but we can do a little bit of an expansion of the walls of the city. We do it in little chunks and we'll be fine. I would like to unlock the castrum. I want to get all those hoplite buildings. Our cultural characters are free. Go ahead and increase the production of the architectural office, and then I want you to also reduce the amount of workers needed in the ceramic workshop. We do have like a resource management panel, which is cool. Oh, what is this? Oh, this is trade. So we can trade what was set. We gain 1 gold coin every 5 cycles. So what do? We could sell them wood. I need to have a commercial cultural character. Okay, got it. We found some ruins. I'm going to demolish that. It'll cost us a bit of trust, but I think it's worth it because you could just turn off taxation for a bit. So we now have 2 separate rampart areas. I like that. That is cool. That each rampart is its own section. I can build another little rampart over here. I will. It's a good way to spend these resources, right? The hoplites want to expand. Absolutely, I will take that extra tax, please, sir. 1,800 wood left in here, 600 wood left in here, 2,000 wood left in here. Yeah, we're going to want to start thinking about expanding our wood reach. Speaking of which, if I improve this, that will actually let me reach out here a little bit further. I could lay down a new cutting camp as well in preparation. 4,000 wood right there, although I want to wait until this is actually finished construction before I do that. So this will be unlocked in the next age. Let's unlock these. Yeah, so we can't do anything with these until the next age. Got it. Why don't you learn that plan for me? 200 cycles. Okay, Jesus, that's a long time. I'm going to learn the Horaeum because it gives us a lot of stockpile room. It's quite expensive, but I think it's worth it. It provides health as a service. So many workers available. Yes. Exactly what we want, right? The Horaeum. You know what? I would actually go quite nicely right here. I'm going to up the belonging in my city and the creativity because those are my 2 weakests. Try to keep the weak stuff high. the high stuff week. Request from a faction. Decrease of the sends. So what is that? Increases the esteem satisfaction of 4 every cycle. I don't know what that means. I kind of get what it means, but I don't know what it means. You know what I mean? What does increase the esteem satisfaction of 4 every cycle? Like, I don't fully understand what that means, so I'm just not going to click it because I want to save my gold. I'm a resource hog. We are at our resource limit for stone. So that tells me I'm probably okay to get myself a second stonemason. You know what I also need? I need more clay. So let's have a look at the... Can I press 6 for resources? So we want to find somewhere we can get a decent amount of clay. There's a clay spot over here, which means I'm going to need to improve my surveyor cabin, which requires more clay. Chicken and the egg. Allegory for my life right now. Trade routes, the reserve, state, all clear. Okay, that's kind of cool though. You got a whole screen that's like dedicated to different resources. I think we have all of our service buildings. I'm kind of curious about like, we could get the Circus Maximus. The cultural building closest to the wonder does not deteriorate with the passage of time. Now that would be sick if we were to put a really strong cultural building next to it. I definitely want to build the Circus Maximus. Yes. All right, I need to improve my clay income. Can I strip some clay here? Let's demolish these ruins, and then we'll play around with taxation to make everyone like me more. Okay, I have a cultural character, so I can sell wood, right? Oh, wow. I could sell, like... The city cannot buy as many resources. Okay, hold on. What if I sold 100 wood and 100 stone? Okay, what if I sold 150 stone? So that's too much. 125. Okay, what about 125 wood? 120 wood. 115. Okay, so this is the maximum trade route that we can do. Well, let's just hit the max. I see. If I buy things, I can sell more. Now, I don't think I need these. I make tiles. I guess I could get tiles. Like, what if I wanted all 58 or all their tiles, let's say? I could just sell, like, what are we over? We're over by a bit. So let me say 250. 250. We just do a little bit of clicking to balance this trade deal. Perfect. So we'll buy a bunch of their ceramics. And we'll sell a bunch of our stuff. Yeah, we'll do that trade. Wait, is this an every cycle or does it just happen once? I hope that only happens once, because otherwise I'm going to run out of resources real fast. Uh-oh. I need clay so bad. You know what I'm going to pass? I'm going to pass external recruitment at max rank, 500 gold. It'll get me +1 migration per tick. I would also like to improve quarry production. Oh, it's quite expensive. All right, we're improving this. Decree was accepted. Awesome. So we should get a lot more migration now, which will allow me to place more buildings. 14,000 clay. That's huge. Let's build another rampart. We could build a nice one over here, I think. So every time you add a rampart, it gets more expensive to add ramparts by 20%. That's fine. I still think it's worth it. Okay, let's take a look at the culture. I think I want to save up for the Circus Maximus. Yeah, I'm saving up my blueprints. So we could do another trade route, or we could unlock a trade route. Now, I don't remember what I needed clay for. Have I built the Statio? No, I don't think I have. Let me take a look at this tech tree here. Oh, the castrum is actually pretty damn good. It's got 600 attraction. I'm going to buy the castrum, and I'm going to build it. And I think my goal is to try to build the Circus Maximus adjacent to it. So we're just waiting for a little bit of wood. They want me to do a curfew? No, thank you. Don't care. So how are we looking on this front? Yeah, we need clay to upgrade this, but we're mostly locked on population. I think the Circus Maximus can go over here. What are you? You got 200 wood. Let's demolish you. And you can see demolishing buildings costs gold. So that's why gold is really important. I'll put a new cutting camp on the edge of the city, capture those resources. And then I want to build the castrum where this used to be. Right here. And I definitely feel like we need more belonging and probably esteem. Boom. Let's go. Making the city happier. Making the city better. Okay, I would like another stone. Well, I would want to upgrade these, actually. I want to make sure the stonemason gets improved. The carpenter's already level 2. I would like another stonemason. I'll put you right there. And then I would like another carpentry. I have the resources to afford the Circus Maximus, or at least to unlock it. Now, how much to build it? So I'm low on stone, clay, and sand. So clay is the big one. Maybe I'll get another small quarry over here to just get an absurd amount of clay. And it's probably a good idea if I get a second sand quarry as well. It's like 12,000 sand over here. So every 10 cycles we get 100 clay. We need how much? I'm going to pass a decree for better clay production. Wait for me to turn gold into clay. It'll last 100 cycles, especially because we have a brickwork that's eating some of the clay. I'm even going to get myself another quarry in here. Just need a lot of clay to build these wonders. And then while we have that thing running, get ourselves another quarry for even more sand. Boosh. Sand it up. All right, hoplites, we need to start taxing you. The heliotes, we need to tax you. The merchants of Tyre, taxation. You're all going to start getting taxed now. We need, I believe it's 500 gold to build a Circus Maximus. We're almost at our next assessment, and we're only just squeaking by. I don't know how to tell what my resource points are. We need 20,000. I have 34,000. Okay, wait, no, we squeaked by perfectly. The satisfied population. Oh, shoot, we're not hitting it. I know what I need to do. I need to build the religion buildings. Shoot. Religion, religion, religion. Buy. Here's what I can do. I can pass a decree to improve happiness for a few cycles. We just do a little, what's the lowest one? Belonging. All right, we'll pass a little belonging decree. Yeah, weekly ceremonies. We'll just do a quick one. Just a little, just to try and squeak over the line. 2 cycles and then we get assessed. Oh, I think we failed. No! Damn it, we were so close. Oh well. Okay, we need to build the religion building, the escapulum. I don't mind putting that over here. Let's make sure we're dealing with creativity. My 2 lowest. I probably could have pumped up my satisfaction by doing this. Oh yeah, expand. Like, increase this satisfaction. Increase this satisfaction. Increase all the satisfaction. Produce more clay. Actually, we're on the road to glory here. There's only 700 wood left in this range. Won't be much left now. 800 left in here. Yeah, we're gonna need to get some more woodcutters. But I want to get this wonder first. So yeah, we got a district that has barricaded themselves in, which is not ideal. We can improve our villa. While I would love to improve the villa, I want this so much more. What if we improve the villa? You know what, let's improve the villa. Family Heritage 5 rewards. You now have access to the manual age change. To advance to the next age, you can wait until the end of the cycles of your current age or click on the corresponding button on the main screen. So, many cycles have passed since you settled on these lands. So we can change age. However, that would cause another district to close. And if a district closes, if you get 6 closed districts, you lose the game. So finishing right now is not ideal because we want to hit this 2,000 population satisfied. And the, well, more building points. I think we avoid that for now. So we're gonna have to wait for a lot of gold unless we sell something. You can expand. Let's go ahead and do a trade route. What could we sell? We have a decent number of bricks. Oh, I don't have a commercial character to do that. That's okay. Oh, yeah, food's a problem. Okay, I'll build a surveyor cabin, sort of. Must be outside of the swamp. Let's improve you. And then we'll look to maybe build a farm up in this zone. All right, perfect. Surveyor cabin is complete. We can get one as far out here as possible to maximize the reach of my city. And we'll be able to build a farm over here where there's nobody in the way. Our stone reserve is full. It's understandable. All right, let's set up the new farm on the edge of town like so. We definitely need more wood. Let's destroy this ruin. 4,000 wood plot right here. Perfect. You're cutting this area. We could probably get another cutting camp in there somewhere. Here's a 7,000-ish. There we go. We'll get it right there. Well, no, that's not quite enough. We want to get that really, really, really high. There we go. 6,300. That's a perfect number. Now we're just waiting on the gold for the Circus Maximus. Panem Encensus. What is Panem Encensus? Esteem, satisfaction. You know, you're fine. Man, I want that wonder. I also want to build a mausoleum of Halicarnassus. If I could build 2, that would be amazing. But before I build the mausoleum, I'm going to want to build a really good building next to it, like the Thermae. So let's unlock the Domus and then save up for the Thermae. I suppose while we're waiting for that, we may as well build the Domus. Now, what does the Domus do again? This gives esteem satisfaction. The satisfaction. I'll put it right over here near this old woodcutting camp. I'm just going to demolish this. It's 200 wood left. You know what? Let's make sure we maximize our output. It'll take a few cycles. We can afford it. We just need the workers. Okay, how do I get more workers? Well, one of the ways to get more workers is to delete old buildings. So I actually am going to delete this earlier. Oh, it is not worth. Why is this costing me 68? Damn it. Trade route. We have a surplus of stone and a surplus of bricks. So let's sell 80 bricks, 80 stone. Well, let's cut how much we're selling. We just want to get those coins. Like 20 cycles before that coins come to fruition. Now, where did I build this? Can I attract a faction here? Only 3 pops in there. This is the best place to attract it, unfortunately. Let's make sure we do not tax those guys so they can improve their happiness. I need a lot of workers. What was this? Okay, that's fine. I need a lot of workers. So I'm going to start reducing the worker cost on some of these buildings and demolishing old cutting camps, hopefully for a full refund. Okay, yes, we can do it. We can build it. We can build it. Oh my God, it's huge. That's so much bigger than I thought it would be. Oh my god! Holy Jesus! Where do I fit this thing? Oh! Oh, mother of mercy. I do kind of like the idea of it being along the river. Like, dude. And like, if you come across the bridge, you gotta go around the tip. Now, this is kind of epic. I was not expecting this thing to be this absolutely massive, gigantic. Part of me wants it to look out into the river. Can I do that? Can I have it go this way? Oh, there's not enough room. Dude, I didn't think it was going to be this big. That is ginormous. I should maybe demolish this cutting camp. Let me take a look at the resource map mode, that I'm not screwing myself with some of these resources. Because there is sand on this beach and clay over here. Nah, you know what? It's fine. We should be able to fit them in. All right, you're looking out onto a swamp. Takes 150 to build. Oh, damn. Well, if we want to build a mausoleum, we need to get a move on. We're probably not going to be able to build a mausoleum. That's okay. What we can do is unlock some new stuff. Okay, so now I can start to see why maybe having faster construction speed would be quite useful, because you would get this like 30 cycles sooner if you had better construction. Trade route, let's unlock this. That's worth 1 gold every 5 cycles. And then what can we sell? We could sell some sand. We have a decent amount of sand. So if I sold like 500 sand, you cannot afford that. Okay, what if I sold you like 250 sand and like 10 tiles? How's that? Thank you. We need more buildings, that is for sure. And we need more satisfaction. So the big thing is probably to unlock these ascapulum buildings, the religious buildings. My goodness. I'm going to build another one of these because I want the belonging and the creativity. Those are both quite important to me. Now, there's a few unsatisfied citizens. We're gonna need to deal with that, and probably involves building a decent number of these ascapulums. We're also probably going to want to pass decrees at around the like 1005 mark. Let's get another ascapulum. Wondering if I can squeeze it in here. Oh yeah, I can. What's our attraction looking like? This is our district filter. You can kind of see the different sectors of the city. You know, a lot of the legionaries, equites, sort of people living in here. See the attraction filter. Interesting that this attraction is like, maybe it's because these are overpopulation. I've got a request. Pickaxe strengthening. We'll skip that. We have unlocked the templum. So if we go here, we can buy this. And soon we shall make the temple. Dude, I cannot wait until this thing finishes. Look at that. That is so huge. That is ridiculously big. That's what your mom said. I need so much. We found a ruin. I say we just destroy it. I like to harvest the souls. Where's the templum? There we go. I want to build a templum. Oh, what is this? You can expand your territory. I mean, I don't see a reason not to let them expand their territory. I feel like that's just strictly a good thing for me, because it means they make more stuff that I can tax. What are you on? We'll put a little temple over here on this side of the city. This provides belonging and something else. Probably go with creativity again, because those are my 2 weakest stats. Trade route, let's unlock this one. These provide passive gold, so I do think it's a good idea to unlock these. It just provides a little bit of cash, and it also improves the variety of things we can sell. Like here, we're maxed out on clay. Why don't you go ahead and buy 200 clay from us, or even 300 and a little bit more? Yeah, you guys could afford this. Boom. Give me that money. Now we're cranking out that trade cash flow. We've got blueprints flying around. I'm sad I wasn't able to build a mausoleum in time for the end of this age. I will maybe start the construction to see if it overflows onto the next age. I'm also going to use the political system here. I want to increase the sense of belonging. And that is this one here, weekly ceremonies. I'm going to max that out, 500 gold. I could corrupt these guys a little bit, and they'll happily support this. So now we'll get really good belonging. There we go. Decree accepted. We'll probably want to get more of those decrees going, but that will help us get more belonging. It should increase over time. I think that's basically how that works. Increase your satisfaction. Satisfaction. So we can't upgrade this yet because we need steel. We can't produce steel, and we need gold leaves, which you cannot produce yet. Probably like a next age thing. We could do another trade route. And the more trade routes we run, the more we can just pump out decrees. There's the wooden beams. And since we just got a bunch of cash, we can run another decree. Like creativity satisfaction. Make sure we corrupt these guys so they play along. I need to have 2,000 satisfied people and more buildings. All right, let's have a look at the political buildings. I have a domus, I have a forum, I have a hilea. I do not have a thermae, Let's build the thermate. What is that? What does that take again? Oh, it's good. It's really good. Pop it up over here. I think belonging and creativity are going to be our secondary effects on this. I think that's important. Using all of our pops. Oh, dude, the wonder is so close to finishing. The wonder, the wonder. There we go. Okay, we're so close to satisfying the population. The building requirements is a little bit harder. Can I build myself another... What was it called again? A therme. Requires a little bit more workforce. Can I reduce the workforce enough? Come on, I just need like one more pop. There we go. Put it near this farm. What are building points? Magnificent buildings. Got it. Well, I'm building a wonder, so hopefully that's worth a few building points. Oh, it's about to be finished. It has an attraction of 900. That is insane. Can I unlock the mausoleum? Can I build the mausoleum? Yes! Dude, I think that just pushed us over the requirements for everything right before the end of the age. Damn, I kind of want to do like an optimized run where we build every wonder. That would require some serious optimization. But look at that, people are already building houses around it. Like, that's how important and good this is. People are celebrating in here. They're having a carnival. Oh, all these things are satisfied. Amazing. Here we go, it's the end of the age. Dun da da da. Skadoosh! Everything around you is changing. You sense a new era is approaching. So it's the change of the age. We got a little cinematic here. I like this. This is cool. This is really cool. Oh, it's going through all of the achievements that we did. Is the arena, the forum. Oh, that is sick. The Circus Maximus. The Thermae. Okay, the threat from Macedonia and we can condemn Rome or the Hellenic kingdoms. If we condemn Rome, we get safety and belonging and the Corinthos trade route. Or we can get a bunch of resources. I'm going to take those free stats. End of the age evaluation. I see. Okay, so you get mid-age evaluation. We failed this one, which sucks. And so this is the Esplanade. This is the evaluation of our ability. And now we go to we continue to the preservation. And now we can spend Memoria Polis points, memory points, on preserving things. So this is automatically preserved because I believe it's the closest thing to this, maybe. So some cultural buildings are protected by wonders or factions. So what is this? For each cultural building left abandoned, factions of the same culture lose power. Okay, so I definitely want to unabandon this district. Now, what do I want to keep? Well, I mean, I have 12 points to spend. So let's keep this big building. We'll keep this big building. This one's in a prime location as well, so we'll keep that. You're in a great location too. I don't like that my religious people are losing so much, so I'm going to keep this building. And then if I split this point with this point, that way everyone got a little bit of something. All right, the religious people are going to suffer the most, but there's a little bit of preservation. Oh shoot, I get to pick a new destiny? Because I've completed this age, I get to pick a new... Dude, building construction costs reduced is crazy. Buildings require fewer workers is even the more insane thing, because now I could just build more stuff for my entire... Oh, damn. And now we're entering into the Middle Ages. Dude. Okay, this one takes 1800 cycles. And now I get to place a castle too far away from a family heritage or a wonder. So I could start building a new sort of zone town over here. Like, this is the old town. You can't place it on buildings. Build the castle like further in on the mountainside sort of a thing. It's like, yeah, now we went deeper in as a result of like the expansions. Or we could like, we could set up a new medieval town over here. Oh shoot. I like the idea of setting up like there's like a little hill here. This is like a pretty defensible location. It's right up against a mountain. There's something about this that I like. Like, I know it's not happening in the game, and I'm just kind of like, I'm imagining the castle being backed up on the mountain slightly, maybe. You know what? I feel like that works better if I do it in here. I feel like that just works better in here. So now we've got a castle. Pause. I don't want time to go ahead. What's going on here? This building has an attraction radius, and we've got all the classic abilities here, but we've got a new tech tree. New production buildings, new tiers of production buildings, new cultural buildings. We can upgrade the proximity stuff. Well, the most important thing is probably to upgrade the architectural office. Oh, damn. Can we build another one? No, you can only build one architectural office, but we definitely want to increase that production. Information safety and attrition zones. So I can demolish buildings or repair them. Okay, that's interesting. So I can still repair all these buildings, or I could let them fall to ruin and demolish them and sort of replace them with the modern new versions, which are more efficient, though more expensive. Oh man, that is so cool. No, time, don't be going. And we do get to keep the mausoleum because we started it. Oh, dude, that is so cool. We have so much workforce freed up. Dude, this game is kind of blowing my mind right now. It's a really satisfying and interesting puzzle game. And yeah, if the video does really well, we'll probably do a follow-up where we actually play this Middle Age. I want to thank you guys very much for watching. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to check out the game. There's a link in the description. I love you all. Bye-bye!